Hi friends! If you click to see the Pat McGrath and Star Wars collab eyeshadow palette in Galactic Gold, then please keep on watching. Hi, my name is Alicia. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I am a fitness professional who loves all things movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. Before we move forward, timestamps will be down below if you want to see the swatches, the comparison swatches, the demos, or the final looks. I'll see you there. These palettes are no longer available. Why am I still doing this video? Well, a lot of you have requested that I still swatch the colors, that I still do looks. Some of you do have it, and if you were looking for inspiration in how to use these shades, then hopefully this video will help in that respect. If you're looking to see the colors in action and see if you can identify dupes in your collection from other brands, maybe that'll be helpful as well. Not all my content is going to be about eyeshadow palettes that you cannot buy. What I will say though, please friends, I know you love makeup, and I know if you're watching this, you probably love Pat McGrath and the Star Wars collab. Please do not spend $300 something on these limited edition palettes. I know we get emotional, we get into like, I need it, I have to have it. Please don't go broke for these limited edition palettes. Are they beautiful? Absolutely. And although Pat said that she's not gonna restock it, she's still gonna make more makeup. Who knows? Maybe she'll repeat some of these shades like we've seen her done before with other shades. Yes, it's not going to be in the collab packaging, but maybe you weren't crazy about the packaging to begin with and you just wanted the shades. Hopefully some of these will be reintroduced going forward. I know a lot of you don't like repeats, but I think this is actually a great opportunity to maybe do repeats from the Star Wars collab 6-pan palettes. If you were unable to get your hands on these specific palettes, maybe you'll have an opportunity in the future if she does decide to include these shades in another palette in the future. Introducing Galactic Gold. I bought this from the IG release that Pat McGrath had on December 12th. Didn't get any alerts during the duration of the week, but all of a sudden I got a shipping alert. So I think overall they're very backed up from their Cyber Monday debacle all the way through the huge volume of orders for their Star Wars collab. You got C3PO on this palette, and then you have a Stormtrooper on Dark Galaxy. So together we got like the dark side and the Skywalker side. Dun, 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 dun. If I really wanted to be consistent, I would have this earring as like the red. But since we're not doing Dark Galaxy today, all gold is fine. Here is how the palette looks like, and as I mentioned in my Dark Galaxy video, that I much prefer this 6-pan lid design over her tri-fold design. It's a magnetic closure, it has a single lid, you have a mirror inside, and here are the thank you so much. And here are the 6 shades. The mirror does flop back. It does not stand upright. If that is a problem for you, or if you do have this palette, you definitely, if you want to use the mirror standing, you'll have to push it against something, or you could just hold it as is and see yourself like this. We don't have any shade descriptions, unfortunately. The palettes are no longer on Selfridges or on Pat's site. I don't really have anything to go from. I could go to Timtalia's site, but we could figure it out on our own. Some details about the palette. It does retail, or used to retail, for $65. This palette is made in the USA. It has a 12-month suggested shelf life from opening, and we're looking at 12 grams for the whole palette, which will equal out to 2 grams per pan. Total ounces for the palette is 0.42, and that will equal out to about 0.07 ounces per pan. And here are some of the details. You have the Pat font here on the corner, the Star Wars logo, and the illustration on the front. I'm really happy she went with C3PO and a Stormtrooper because I think it really aligns with what her aesthetic is. She plays with a lot of mood, a lot of texture, a lot of feel, a lot of strong colors and illustrations that I think inspire her color curations and her shades. So this was like perfect, especially because you know how Pat loves gold. She got to put gold in everything. Let's get into these swatches. This is a beautiful duochrome gold, like a light greenish type of flip. Next up, we have bronze, which exists. I'm gonna do a little space so we could do comparison swatches in her Metamorphosis Holiday Palette 2018. Violet Void, new shade, but Synthetica, her single, reminds me of the shade, and we will swatch it next to it in a minute. Corruption exists in Bronze Temptation for Holiday 2018. This is a beautiful duochrome. What is a duochrome? It is like a burnished green orange flip. It's incredible. It's very hard to see on camera, but if I move my wrist, you can kind of see the shift there. But the other flip is like a beautiful burgundy shade. One of my favorites. Electron. This is like a standout duochrome shade for sure. It has a purple base, but it has like a beautiful periwinkle flip. I mean, that is just so beautifully apparent. And from this side, from where I'm seeing it, it has like a strong hot pink, almost like a pink cranberry base. Don't mean to be rubbing this in your face. I am so sorry. These shades are okay. They're whatever. Whatever. Gold standard. Exists in Decadence, Mothership 4, as well as Metamorphosis in the Holiday Palette 2018. So here are the shades for Galactic Gold. You got 3 repeats, and the repeats are indicated by this trifecta here. So Gold Standard, Bronze, and Corruption. If you have the Holiday Palettes from 2018, maybe this is such a huge big deal for you, and you're like, well, I'm happy I didn't get it then, because I already have those shades. Electron could exist in a lot of indie brand collections. It is gorgeous. Absolutely, but I think you can find this shade elsewhere. And for Violet Void, it's like a purple base with pink glitter reflex. Again, I'm sure you can find it somewhere as well. What I'm interested to swatch Galactic Gold with, what I could think of as a comparison from her collection is maybe Astral Lunar Gold or even Fire Opal. So here's Astral Lunar Gold next to Galactic Gold, so that's very similar. You see that Galactic Gold has more, like there's like a brown flip in there somewhere, and this texture is smoother. Galactic Gold is smoother than Astral Lunar Gold. And then of course we have Fire Opal, all-time fave. This has a stronger green flip, but dare I say, I accidentally mixed some of Electron with Fire Opal. That's a good combination. I would say the topper shades from Bronze Seduction are the closest in terms of flip and color story. The textures though are totally different. Galactic Gold is a lot smoother. I personally think is a little easier to handle. Her 6-pan palettes usually house a matte shade or her metallic formula. But I do think she has like a subcategory in her metallic formula where she has a traditional smooth metallic, but then she has a metallic formula with the glitters in there, which exists in this palette. VR Nectar from Sublime possibly could be a dupe. Well, that's too pink. In comparison to Galactic Gold, definitely too pink, which is not a bad thing. It's just a different color altogether. Bronze. Let's compare the bronze that exists in Metamorphosis. Here is Metamorphosis from Holiday 2018. So here is bronze. Just out of curiosity, let's see how they compare. They're pretty similar in finish and in look. There might be just a slight difference. Maybe the one from Galactic Gold has a little more brown in it, and you're like, Alicia, they're the same. Possibly could be, but you know, it's always nice for that possibility of what if. This is Corrupt Copper, a single of hers that I thought of when I swatched the bronze. Definitely a lot more orange in tone. Copperized from Bronze Ambition. See how this looks. It looks like Galactic Gold is like more of a copper. Like this has like a reddish tint to it, and this is more like a yellowy copper bronze. I am so not good at describing shades. I'm running out of room here, but I thought about Blood Moon from Midnight Sun. This is a totally different texture altogether. It's like her gel to powder. I'm just gonna put it over here. So you see that this has a lot more texture to it. It's a different finish, but they remind me of each other for sure. Copper Tone from Sublime, Mothership 2, I think is a little lighter and more of a satin finish. Subversive definitely doesn't have similar shades. Violet Void, the one color that came to mind immediately was her Synthetica single. I actually prefer Synthetica over Violet Void because Synthetica has shine all the way through from base to reflective pigment, right? Violet Void takes on more of like a smooth, it's not matte, I would say it's more like a satin base with the reflex in there, like the pink and blue reflex. Whereas Synthetica is just like powwow from base to reflect. I think this is a better standout purple in my opinion. However though, Violet Void is gorgeous. Without question. Purple Rain from Levian Rose it doesn't have any reflect in there. It's going to appear just as a very strong royal metallic purple. If you wanted to see Smoked Amethyst from Dark Galaxy, which also exists in Metamorphosis, Dark Galaxy has a stronger like eggplant base, whereas Violet looks more of a violet satin base. One that comes to mind, I don't think it's going to match up completely, but Metropolis from Dark Star. This is from her holiday 2018. You know, definitely more of a plum. Dare I say this is like an aubergine, and this still remains true violet, a little more electric in tone. This is a lot warmer. But you know, maybe you don't like violet tones in the first place, so you were like, I'm happy I skipped it. Let's go on to these shades, yes? So my friend was saying Corruption is slightly different in Bronze Temptation from 2018. So here is the original Corruption. Let us see what we got. Oh, wait a minute. They are similar, but it seems like this is a little more burgundy and this is a little more cranberry. I could be going nuts. I really don't know. But, and also Provacatrix, so see how it appears here in pan. I immediately thought about Galactic Gold, as in this is the flip that exists in Provacatrix. But Provacatrix is an entirely different shade. It swatches like a brown. See that? But the flip, you see this flip? I feel this flip is Galactic Gold. It's so fun. Or this one here, excuse me. This is Galactic Gold. This is the Astral Luna Gold. But ain't that fun? You could layer Galactic Gold on top of Provacatrix. Ooh, that's nice. The other cranberry shade I thought of was actually Crimson Fire from one of her singles. Crimson Fire, I believe, well, that's Burnished Honey. I'm so sorry. Well, Crimson Fire is not gonna have a flip like Corruption does. It's gonna be a different color altogether. It's gonna be a single metallic cranberry shade, whereas Corruption has like a green gold flip in it. If you happen to have Iconic Illumination, this year's holiday collection, Blitz Bordeaux is a different texture, different feel altogether, but perhaps though it could give you something similar in terms of look, yeah? So this is like the standout shade. There's no flip in Blitz Bordeaux, but perhaps will give you a similar feel. Again, not the same color. It is not a duochrome, but I feel the base for Corruption reminds me of Blitz Bordeaux. Blitz Bordeaux still turns out a little more red in tone, whereas I feel the one from Galactic Gold is like a nice burgundy base. Electron is a very special shade in terms of the Pat McGrath collection. There's Electron looking shades all over the place. The only one that comes to mind in terms of a flip is Interstellar from Dark Star, but Interstellar is a different color altogether. Even though it's a duochrome, I feel the flip is not the same. I mean, there's a flip in here, but Electron is, I think, is unique to within Pat's collection. Well, I think Subliminal, one of the astral shades, might just be, well, VR Violet could be our champion dupe. Let me see here. Not the same, but still a beautiful reflect. For instance, you could apply this on any of your favorite eyeshadows and it will give you like that blue violet flip. It's still not the same base as Electron, but it could have a same mood feel. And lastly, we have Gold Standard. Gold Standard exists in Metamorphosis, Holiday 2018. It exists in the original Decadence Mothership 4. Now, as far as if they look the same, let's dive back into Decadence. Here is Gold Standard. Am I going nuts? Hold on, I gotta pull you in closer because I gotta do that again. Dare I say this looks a little more green gold and now a little more yellow gold? Gold Standard from Metamorphosis. Let's see how that matches up. Now, it's possible that I had some VR Violet on my finger when I swatched the Gold Standard from the original Decadence. And the one from Metamorphosis 2018 definitely matches up with the one here in Galactic Gold. Now that swatches and comparisons are out the way. On the lids, I have Shiseido's Concealer in 301 Medium as my base. I highly recommend you check out Sandra Deluxe's video on these two palettes. She always challenges me in terms of how to be so creative because she is so effortless in her application, in her technique, and how she combines textures and color. I'm like, I gotta be more like Sandra Deluxe. Perhaps I'm like the in-between where you're like, you love Sandra Deluxe's looks, but you can't walk into work like that. Not looking like her, but just with her shadow because she wings it out really far and it's like teetering on avant-garde sometimes. This is what you would do if you need a little bit of punch, but you still have to be a little conservative with your technique. One thing to notice immediately is that there are no mattes in this palette as opposed to the Dark Galaxy having that matte Venomous Void. If you have both, you could definitely jump around between the two, but we're gonna keep it strictly to this palette and see what we can do. Using a very old MAC brush with Corruption, I decided because this brush is very big and I want to get the majority of the color on a whole lot of the lid. Now, one thing to know about Pat's metallic shades is that they're very creamy, but they're blendable. So you don't necessarily need a matte shade to blend the shade out. For instance, I'm taking my reference number 15 with Corruption and I'm just using the brush to buff the edges. And you see here how beautifully it moves and glides on the skin without you having to rely on a matte shade. And as you blend it, you can see that base coming through. I think Corruption is a great shade because a lot of times these duochrome shades have like a black base to them or a gray base. So when you start to blend them out, they could look very smoky on you quickly. What comes out more so is like a greenish gold antique base that I feel is very unique. Same MAC brush with bronze, and I'm just nudging that on the inner part of the lid. I think this creates such a gorgeous gradient of color moving in through Corruption. And taking the reference number 15 brush with no additional product and gently buffing out the bronze shade. And maybe you can see the shift of Corruption when it goes from like that, dare I say, is like a cranberry magenta base with like that goldish green flip. I did get a little bit of fallout, but I did really overload that brush. Taking a Violet Void, same brush, carefully nudging that on the outer lower lash line and connecting it. You could really see the pink sparkle here. I will definitely flashlight it up later on the final look round, but that pink reflect comes through. I actually think this shade is more impressive in action than it is as a swatch. Esom W21 with Electron, nudging that on the inner part of the lower lash line. Definitely got fallout, you know, if you feel you don't want to risk marring your face makeup, then definitely go in with the eyes first. I'm taking a little bit of Corruption with my Refer 15 and dragging it under Violet Void. And I'm blending it further on the outer V and just pulling it out more. Just using my finger to refine the shape a little bit. Same W21 with Galactic Gold on the inner corner to brighten everything up. And this is beautifully unique as it takes on the shade that you apply on, right? So it's going to take on more of an orange shift here, and then it's going to take on more of a bluish violet shift with Electron, but still maintain that beautifully strong light green shift. All right, eye number 1 is done. Definitely want to go in with Electron this time all over the lid. I feel Electron is the thinnest texture out of the 6. I'm going to go in with my finger and just carefully pull that across the lid. Oh my gosh, this is just gorgeous, and it blends very easily. I mean, it's so easy to apply as a single eye look. You could pat down the edges and it's just gorgeous. Very smooth, very easy to work with. Esom W21 with Violet Void. Using the shade to just smoke out Electron, since this is going to be our purple eye. Reference number 1 with Violet Void. Carefully, because since this has a lot of texture with the pink reflex, I'm using this to blend out the crease as well as create like that V point, as I always love to do. Taking the edge of the brush and just helping the pigments glide, and I'm taking my time here building up the shape, patting down more color on the outer V. Once we have the general shape, we could go in now with the fluffier brush. Esom G34 with Violet Void, tapping away some. So if we start to blend, we're not going to get a lot of fallout. I'm just using the edge of the brush to just buff Violet Void. Violet Void is so pretty. The pink reflex look gorgeous with the Electron on the lid. Then I take more Electron with my finger just to add on to the lid area that we covered a little bit with Violet Void, but just to bring the Electron color more forward. Reference number 2 of Gold Standard, patting that on the inner part of my eye. We're gonna pat so we don't get any fallout. Using the tip of the brush just to apply this right under that crease of the inner part of my eye. Taking a little Violet Void on the G34 and just buffing the edges between Violet Void and Gold Standard so it could look like a smoother transition. Ooh, we like that. What should we do on the lower lash line? I really wanted to do Galactic Gold as like a standout shade, but what we can do is, let's take Corruption with our reference number 2, pulling it up towards Violet Void to connect the 2 shades. Now we'll take Galactic Gold. So I understand that I flipped the look. I did Corruption Bronze here and Corruption Bronze here, but I kind of, let me see. You know what? I'm going to go back with Electron actually and combine it with Corruption. I think that's such a pretty combination. Now Galactic Gold with my pinky and nudge it on the center of my lid and just put a little brightness there. Was it the best decision? I don't really know, but I just wanted to see how that worked. Gold Standard on the inner corner, why not? But we could also layer Galactic Gold on top of Gold Standard to make it even brighter. All right, friends, let's slap on some lashes and I'll be right back. Here's the finished look, friends. On the lashes, I have ColourPop's faux lashes in Chica. Here's the Corruption side with bronze on the lid, and here's the Violet Void side with Electron on the lid. And of course we need to do the flashlight dance. You could just see the shine emitting from Corruption. It's such a beautiful color, and then just the brightness of Electron here, and then Galactic Gold on the inner corner. And I just could not wait to see these pink and blues. Look at that. Look at the pink and blue sparkles in Violet Void. And when it's buffed through the crease, it just gives the whole lid, the whole eye look, beautiful glow and shine. It's just dazzling with, again, just, ooh, that's so pretty. Look at that. Look at Galactic Gold on top of Gold Standard. I love it. And here's a wide shot of the look. On the lips, I have Makeup Forever's Artist Colored Pencil in Anywhere Caffeine, with Natasha Denona's I Need a Nude Noah on the outer corners of my lip, and Charlotte Tilbury's Kissing Lipstick in Hepburn Honey. What can I say? I love Galactic Gold. All in all, I am very happy with the Star Wars palettes. I think the color stories are gorgeous. I don't mind the repeat shades. I just love that they're in there. And yeah, of course, people are like, well, the price you pay for multiple shades. Well, you know, you just have to decide if you would buy the palette or not, right? I think financially, if you feel it's not worth the repeat shades, then yeah, going forward, if she does this again, then don't get the palette with the repeat shades. It could be a matter of production and deadlines, and maybe she wanted to do all 12 new shades and there was just no time because maybe Disney was like, well, we need these palettes by the time the movie releases, and Pat's like, well, you know, I could do maybe a few new shades and have to do repeats from other palettes that I already have in the manufacturing space to put in the palettes. Who knows? I'm not sure about the details. This is all speculation, but just to offer up a possibility as to why she has repeat shades in these 6-pan palettes. I'm very happy with my purchase. Yes, was the whole process with the FOMO and the this and the time, and why can't they just be more straightforward with it? I know, yes, it's frustrating, it's upsetting, Hopefully this will change in 2020 for her and her marketing team. And again, like I said in the beginning, maybe she will bring some of these shades back from her Star Wars collab and have them in permanent palettes. Let me know down below if you picked up Galactic Gold and Dark Galaxy, what you think about them. I'm sorry I didn't swatch the lipsticks in this tutorial, but I'll be more than happy to maybe swatch them in another video or just do an Instagram stories with the swatches so you can see them in action. And until then, friends, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another review, tutorial, get ready with me, or favorites list. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.